All right. Good day, everybody. Right on time, top of the hour. Here we are using ADF for enhanced investigations. I want to thank you for being here today. I know you got choices, and I'm glad you chose here to listen to me for a little bit. My dulcet tones are all ready for the next hour here. Scan to Solve using ADF for enhanced investigations is the presentation today. I'm Rich Frawley. I am the Director of Training at ADF Solutions. Been with ADF Solutions since 8 years. I've done full 8 in my 9th year. With ADF, came on as a subject matter expert in forensics back in 2016. And then worked up through that and took over training and still do the subject matter expert stuff, training, presentations, webinars, shows, teaching. So that's kind of what I do here. Prior to that, 23 years in law enforcement, which was awesome. Started in forensics somewhere around 1999, 2000 there. That's when the unit started. All kinds of work. Did some internet crimes against children work. Any case that came across that involved a computer or a device, I was involved in. So it was great. Did a lot of different cases, homicides, threatenings, harassments. I did a jury tampering case. I did a corporate corruption case where one of the items we went through was a copy machine, right? So Linux-based drives in the copy machine, and put together a good case on all the stuff we got out of that. So interesting, definitely an interesting career. Glad I'm here today, kind of show you what we work on and what we're all about. Try to show you the tool from the ground up here today. Talk about a few things and show it to you in real time. I'm not going to PowerPoint you to death here today. So Scan to Solve. ADF has been around for about 20 years now, probably. 2005. Put together, started out in image identification for child exploitation cases. And from that, was scanning computers and looking for images, started turning into a triage tool with artifacts and collecting more artifacts. Had a Linux boot drive that you can use. And then as that progressed and it became more and more, in 2016, when I came on, there was a big interface change with the computer side. Went from a Linux disk to Windows disk, get you into more computers without having to go in and, a single boot key, boot to this device, think WinFE, and built on that. And then, shortly after that, 2017, I think mobile was added, and we've just been building on that and the computer since then. So with mobile, we've come a long way in sticking to our roots. We are an early case assessment or triage type tool. We're working on getting you into the device and getting you information up front so you can make your decisions. Do I need to spend the time to get a physical on this, or can I get off of this device or see on this device what I need, because I know I only need A, B, and C. Out of all these devices that are on scene, which ones do I need to take back and which ones can I leave? And that's as simple as grandma's pink iPad, right? Look it up, take a look at it, hand it back. So it's that type of stuff. Critical incidents, lots of devices that you need to go through so you know which ones you need to look at first and spend your resources on. Helps along in those lines. Preview is kind of what I was talking about there. So that's the first one, previewing a device, hooking it up instead of thumbing through, which I know we don't do, right? We don't sit on scene and look through and bring up the gallery and start looking through the images and stuff. But the preview now allows you to hook it up. And there's going to be another change to this, which I can't show today because of just the way things are hooked up It's a different version. But coming down the pike in a couple of weeks, we do have another way to connect devices, and I'll explain that in a minute. But with Preview, you hook up the device just like you would if you were hooking up to any other forensic machine to make an image of it. And instead of making an image of it or an acquisition of it, we are making the acquisition but showing it to you in real time. And you're going to see that here in a minute. So Preview allows you to do that. Screen capture. So that's the not only recording what's on the screen, a video either from beginning to end to tell your story or to show this is what I was doing when I was in the device, or just, hey, I want to capture this video on here. Let me just record it. It'll get your audio, get that. Or there's a Snapchat that I want to record, or there's something on a website that they looked at that I want to record. You can do that with video, and then you could also do individual screen captures with scrolling, getting each page, anything you could bring up on the screen, and we're going to walk through that as well. Acquisitions, iOS, Android, and I have Chrome in here. I'll explain that. I have one hooked up to show you exactly how that works. Think of Chrome more on the mobile device side than the computer side. With this, we do acquisitions, screen capture, and parsing all in one, right? So, hey, I want to acquire this phone. I know there's some things I'm not going to get on this device, right? Because they're advanced logicals. I'll get into that in a minute. But I can now acquire it. If I know I'm not going to get certain things off of a device, I can screen capture or record. This will be added to the acquisition, and then parse everything else that it does acquire. And then acquisitions through MTP only, instead of connecting your device as a device and getting more off of it. Some devices might only connect through MTP outside of iOS, Android, and Chrome. So think cameras, think maybe flip phones, right? Feature phones that we're not going to work on. But if you can get an MTP connection, we can pull down that media for you as well. Now, going back, this is all the stuff we're currently doing. And I mentioned a different way of connecting. So think HDMI output from phones. Think of an iOS device with a cracked screen where you know it's working, but you don't know what's on the screen because you can't see it. Maybe the digitizer still works. Hook that up, get your HDMI, bring it up, see what's on that screen in your tool, not just on a screen or anything like that, but in your tool. And maybe being able to say, okay, I'm on this screen. This is where it's at. This is what I need to do next. Oh, it's on the password screen. I know where those digits are because I can see the smudges. Boom, 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 boom. Now you're in, and you can start recording everything you're doing, screen capturing everything you're doing. The next one on the Chrome. So acquisitions on this side of it, right? We make the acquisition, we parse everything out. You go through, you're doing your analysis. Chrome, we all know where we are today with that, right? You go to try to do something, it power washes. We are making an acquisition of the device, but it's limited as what you're going to get off of it, right? It's not a physical acquisition. It's a logical of the Chrome operating system. So you're going to get minimal artifacts from that. Along with that HDMI route, being able to see that Chrome, and I really wish I could show it here today, but like I said, it's not worked into the main release yet. But anything that's up on that screen, just like a mobile device with screencasting, you'll be able to cast and screenshot or record. So it's more than we're getting with the acquisition, a lot more than anybody's probably getting now without reverting to taking photos of it or something like that. So I'm really happy. I really love showing that, because if you could bring it up on the screen of the Chromebook, you can capture everything that you need to do. So just another way, like they are really trying to lock us out of everything. and us, I'm still sorry, talking law enforcement is trying to get stuff not as a tool manufacturer, but Apple and Android and any other tool you could think of, their main goal is to not let you get physicals anymore, encrypt everything. So we're trying to get you into those ones that you can't do right now. On the computer side, we are still a computer tool. You can scan from a collection key. What I have here, so that's this is a Samsung T7. You can put our tool, install it onto that USB device, right? Plug it into any computer, Linux. Well, I should say Chrome is separate, but just think Linux, Mac, and Windows, and we'll be able to get something off that device. If it's a regular Windows 64-bit, Windows 10, Windows 11, Windows whatever, and it's up and running, scan it live, right? So we all know the tools that do that. And with this, you're going to get a lot of information. So don't even think triage, right? But think triage plus investigation. You're letting this tool run. You're able to see, hey, this stuff is on here. But what typically happens now is you seize that, you bring it back, goes to the lab, and you're stuck with only what you saw. There was 3 items. I know I've got that. No, now I got to wait for this to come back to me. Let this run for the few extra minutes, and you'll have so much information that you could just go back and sit at your desk that day and start doing preservation orders, further search warrants, linking together those who may be trading. So you got referrals that maybe you're going to be doing, but you're able to put a lot together that day rather than having to wait. So it puts it in your hands, especially if you are divided from your forensic lab. Let's say you're an investigator. You can go on scene, and whatever you see on scene is yours. But once it gets seized, it goes to the lab, and you have to wait. Helps in a lot of those situations. We have a remote agent that's also installed on that collection key that you could connect to a Mac or the Chromebook. That's how we get the acquisitions. And you make a connection either through wireless or through Ethernet, direct connect to your Windows machine, and you were able to acquire or scan that Mac, T2, M1, M2, as well. 32-bit Windows computers, again, through that remote agent, and also, the newer ARM computers, you're able to use that remote agent to access that drive, scan that drive, or image that drive as well. Like I said, we do imaging, and then back in the lab, it's a fully functional tool to sit there on your desktop. Anything that's attached, forensic image files, the whole gamut. So there's a lot that we can do with this tool. All right, got a question that came in already. Is there a terabyte limit on acquisitions? And I don't know what kind of limit you're looking at, but I've never had one on that. So the way it works, if we're doing it, if you're doing it from your Windows machine, it's pretty straightforward, just like any other imaging device. If you're doing it from the collection key, what we do for the field work, and that's a great question. I don't know if this is where you were leading, but I'm going to put this one out there. Anyways, when you want to image a device, you bring up the drive or whatever that you're going to image. You say, I want to image this one. And when you hit the next button, it's going to ask you to plug in the drive you're going to save it to. So it's not saving to that collection key, right? It's going to save to whatever drive you have. So storage-wise, there's no limit there. But I don't believe there's a limitation on what we're able to acquire as well. So I hope that answers that. With what I'm going to get into the demo here. And I like to put my little disclaimer out here. I know I'm a dinosaur. You can see I got the gray beard. Been doing this a long time. I would have put up the FedEx guide talking real quick about all the disclaimers, but really this comes down to your policies and procedures and that little thing they call the Fourth Amendment when it comes to using tools, any tool, right? Ours are a little different. Great for, like I said, triage. So is that acceptable by your policy and procedure? Early case assessment. Maybe it depends on situations. It's become a accepted practice, if you will, as far as triage and stuff. So policy, procedure, Fourth Amendment, and then whether you're working with victim, witness, or consent. As I go through this today, hopefully you'll see not only all the work you can do as far as on search warrants, on scene, early case assessment in the lab, but you see, hey, victim, witness, consent. Somebody's going to walk away with all this information, and if it walks away, I'll probably never see it again. So let me grab it this way, right? So, yeah, take a look at that. Those are my disclaimers. Rich is going to say you can do a lot of things here today. Look what this does. Look what you can do, right? Well, look what you can do if it fits into your policies and procedures and your search warrants or whatever Fourth Amendment you are working with. With that said, let me bring up the tool here. So this is our Pro version of our tool. Pro means it's got both computer and mobile in one interface. If you look at this today, you go, you know what? We don't come across computers, and I don't do computers. We have just the mobile portion of the tool that you get as well. It's called Mobile Device Investigator. If you say somebody else does the mobile, I just do computers, Digital Evidence Investigator, that does just the computer side. Put them all together in one interface. It's Pro version. So very simple. 3 products. Very simple to run. Very minimal requirements as far as hardware goes. It goes on your hardware. We do sell some hardware, especially with the mobile for out in the field. On Surface goes. Really quick and easy to hook up, put on a table, and do what you need to do. But as far as hardware, what your requirements are for the computer you put it on, and I'm sure all your computers are maxed out, but 16 gigs of RAM, I think 20 gigs of free space on your computer, and then you'll need an external device. We'll give you the collection key, but you'll want an external device to save your data to, especially if you're doing mobile acquisitions. Pretty easy, straightforward interface. Investigate devices, review scan results, set up scans. That's where you can customize and go in and say, I have this big acquisition. This acquisition, if you're going that full, just think of your standard procedure. I acquire a device, then I parse out that device. So how many hours did it take me to just get the data? And now how many hours is it going to take me to parse and correlate and do everything I need to do before I can examine? So we give you the ability to go in and say, hey, I have this acquisition. I just want the messages, the contacts, and the call logs. So instead of waiting hours for it to parse out and do everything like that, in 30 seconds, I can have my call logs, my messaging, and my contacts, and somebody else can start working on that. Maybe think missing persons, but we can go back to preview for things like that as well. But if you're on a case where you have acquisitions and you want to cherry pick certain things, you can do that quite easily here. The analysis portion of our tool and investigate devices. In investigate device, you can scan. This is what I call the all-in-one area. Quickest is at the bottom for me, and you work up to what's going to take the longest. Scan is where you come in to connect your device, whether it's mobile, whether it's an external hard drive, USB device. You can see here I have my Chromebook attached. I have a Pixel attached. I have some external drives here, and then the system drive, because I'm working on my computer here, it's not going to allow me to scan my own drive. But anything attached, I could bring in forensic image files. I could add the forensic image files. I could add devices, Android, iOS, Chrome. Anybody else's acquisitions we've made prior, we can bring in here and load up. And you can also see we have the Gray Key or UFED images in here as well. And then the remote agent I was talking about, I can connect like a Mac through an Ethernet cable or a wireless connection and scan that device, right? And there's a couple ways to do it. You could do it when it's up live and running. Credentials are required. We're not bypassing anything, right? So credentials are required. If it's up running live, easy peasy. You just get that remote agent running on the other side, connect to it here. And you can also do it from a boot on that Mac, and you can go into the recovery and get that remote agent running and scan it, acquire it, or do what you need to do with that as well. Again, any of your modern Macs will be able to do that way. And if you set up a profile and say, hey, listen, I'll bring this back, or I'll look at this later with a full whatever I can do with it, if I want to mess around with it. But if I'm looking for just images, I can easily just run a profile and say, just show me the images on here so I can make a decision if it's, child exploitation, or show me these type of files, or just collect the PDF documents off of here so I can take a look at that and see if it's something I need to go through. So you would connect your device, right? These are the search profiles I was talking about. They are customizable. And we break them down into different ways, like mobile, quick, intermediate, comprehensive. We give you out of the box ones, but they're easily edited or copied and edited or created brand new. Give it some information. I'm just going to show you the Google Pixel here to show you what the process is. So I have the Google sitting here, the Pixel sitting here. As soon as it comes in, you can see it's automatically casting what's on this device, which is nice. So I've got it connected. I want to make the acquisition, but let's say with this, I knew that I wasn't going to get the history from Google, from my Chrome browser on here. I can easily bring up my Chrome browser, go to the history, and screenshot anything that's on here. There's not much on here. I've let it lapse. There used to be a lot of it. Or if I knew I wasn't going to get Kik, I can go to Kik and do that as well. So, oh yeah, here's Kik. Let me open that. I'll get into this in a little bit, but I can make my screenshots here. I would continue, and it goes into the acquisition of this device. So I just got to take this moment here before I can really dive into that. Hold on one second. I need to close my door. There we go. Working from home. So advanced logical acquisitions. We are not rooting, jailbreaking, or changing anything. We are getting as much as we possibly can without changing or exploiting or rooting or doing anything on that device. You need access, so you need to open that device. It is going to, you can see here, it's the acquisition size went up to about 45 megabytes on this device. There's about 1.3 gigs of data on here. So that would be your typical ADB backup that it's created there. We are now putting an agent up on the phone, just like anybody else, to get the rest of that shared data off. And you can see now that is running. the speeds are really good. So it's going to go from that 45 megabytes up to 1.3 gigs in no time at all. And once that's done, it'll automatically go into parsing. So for a full, hey, I've got this phone, I want to go through the entire process. That's what you do. That's exactly how simple that is. I didn't show you the connection of the phone. That's just the same. You got to go in, you got to become a developer, put on USB debugging and all that. And then you can see it comes in here and parses out all that information. So all in one, connect the device, pick your profile, give it a name, do some screenshots if you want. You can bypass that, makes the acquisition, parses it out. Acquisition is saved in one location. Everything that's parsed out is saved in another. If you wanted to go back to that acquisition to do something else with it, you can do that as well. You can see what it's collecting. You can go in and view results. You can stop it. You can hide that, right? If somebody's in your office and you are doing one of those sensitive cases, you don't want them to see what's being collected, you could hide that as well. Think of this in a triage situation. I didn't make the acquisition. I'm looking at this. I see what I want. I can stop this at any time. Whatever I've collected up to this point in time is saved in my results. So I don't need to stop it and say, oh, I wanted that picture or I wanted this. If you see it, if it's been collected, it's there for you. All right. So that was kind of the all-in-one, if that's how you're working. Let's get back to the ease of use, the preview. Couple of things here. Preview is going to make the acquisition. It's going to do that advanced logical acquisition. So you need to get it connected as a device. When you first connect a device, you hit the add device or add phone, pick which operating system it is, gives you the option or walks you through the process. Hey, set airplane mode. Again, this goes back to policy and procedure. What am I looking for on this device? Am I working with a victim with this consent where I may want to see cloud data, or know that I have to put it in airplane mode? I don't want any kind of remote access. You make the choice here, you hit next, and now this is where it walks you through the process of becoming the developer, turning on USB debugging, making it stay awake, the whole bit. If something isn't done, it will ask you, mine was already connected, that's why it's not stepping through. So I connect it, it starts looking at the device to see if all this stuff is done. If it's not done, it gives you instructions in the center here on what to do. So you can see it's ready. Now it's connected. Again, this is preview screen. I'm on scene. I want to look at what's on this device, where it's going to save to, give it a name. It defaults to preview. I hit proceed. And now we're going to be looking at this device. You can see up on top, it's starting to make the acquisition. It's telling you right now it's collecting information from the SD card, the pictures, but below you can also see with Android, some of the artifacts come across early. So we're parsing those out for you right away. You can see I have some messages, contacts, calendar. I can go right in here. Here's my contacts, right? Here's the messaging that's on here. All right, I have all that. But the nice part about it, if you're doing any kind of multimedia, if you're doing your ICAC cases or whatever, I can come right into pictures. And in the upper right-hand corner, probably hard for you to see, it's telling me that there are 2,935 pictures that have been identified already. What is up on top are your most recent. So if somebody's just downloaded something this morning, it's going to be here. I can scroll through and you can start seeing all the data that's on here. You can see it's going to start filling in with the thumbnails. I get the metadata. And if I open up preview and the picture opens like this, that means it's already been moved from the device here into my results. So if this is what I was looking for, I can stop my scan. Everything that's been saved is in my case. So that's how preview works. Again, you're getting all, and also fully functional pretty much as far as, hey, I want to search for something. I can see here, I'm looking at EXIF make and EXIF data, EXIF model. So there's pictures on this Android from iPhones, right? So I can go to make, here's Apple. There's been 20 collected up till now. I could come in here and see all that. Go down to the picture that I'm looking at. There's the preview. There's all the metadata of it and the properties of that picture, right? So quick, I can go back here. Summary, it's still running 2 minutes and 13 seconds, and look at all the information that we were showing you, right? I'm not thumbing through it. It's making the acquisition, and I'm able to look at it here in the tool. Again, advanced logical acquisition in real time. So this will take as long as an advanced logical acquisition takes, but what it will do is start showing you those thumbnails up front real quick, and you'll start being able to see that information. Video, it's identified 14 videos on this phone. Again, it's going to get metadata. It's going to get frames. So this is nice too, that I can quickly look at the videos it's identified. And if it's been processed, those frames will come up for me. Some of them aren't yet, but the top ones here, you can see they came up. And if I go to preview and I can play it, that means it's already been moved from the device into here. So if this is what I was looking for, I can stop my preview, right? Hey, there's pictures that shouldn't be on here. This is what I was looking for. Stop the preview, seize the phone, and then bring it back and do either the advanced logical acquisition, or get a full physical, or do whatever you need to do there. Let me stop that preview window. iOS is the same. You're going to connect the iOS device. You're going to do the preview. The differences with Android and iOS, Android brings across artifacts early. So you'll see a lot more of those early in your scan of an Android device or preview. Where iOS, the artifacts come later in the acquisition process. So it's very heavy with media and video, multimedia. So you'll get a lot of that stuff up front. You may get a couple artifacts, installed applications, things like that. But for the most part, preview is heavy multimedia up front. So if you are working those types of cases, that's what you're going to see. And another use for it too, like somebody just... couple different situations, but you have a witness, right? And they just took a video of something and you just want to grab it off of there. You can hook this up, start doing a preview, go into the video view. As soon as that's collected, you can save it off, right? And you have it collected that easy. Yeah, you're going to get a couple other things with it. There may be some other ways, but if you're just looking to preview and say, hey, this is what we need, then you can do stuff that way. So preview, quickest way into the device, very simple to do, have to have access. Next is screencasting. There's a couple of things here that I want to talk about, how we do it now, and then what it's going to look like in a couple of weeks. So right now I have my Chrome connected through an Ethernet cable. Where it's going to save my information to, the acquisition name is here, and then whether I want it in portrait or landscape. And I hit proceed, and it makes the connection to that Chromebook. Now, this is one of the things that we solve with HDMI output, is right now, unless it's something specific. So I just opened up an app on that Chromebook, and now you can see it. So the photos opened up on that, but the desktop didn't. So that's one of the issues when you're connected as a device with a Chromebook, is how it casts. So in a couple of weeks with our new version, you'll be able to cast an HDMI, and you'll see everything on that device. So it'll be able to come up, you'll be able to screenshot, capture, record all that information. But I wanted to show you the Chromebook. It's not that hard to make the connection. If you ever do get the tool, all that information comes with it. or all the information, all the connections and stuff you need. It comes in a nice case like this. You get all your adapters, your collection keys, your cables, your Ethernet cables, your 4-port hubs with the Ethernet on the end with HDMI. So any connections you need to make, you'll be able to make. Back to screencasting, and we'll go to that Pixel again, and then I'll show you the iOS device. I'm going to speed up here because I talk a lot. Again, the Androids come right up. Hit the camera button, and I get a screenshot of what's on the screen. If it's a touch screen, I can control the phone from the interface here. And you can see think victim witness consent here. It's going to walk out the door. Somebody's willing to give you something. I am willing to give you all my Kik chats. I'm willing to give you the pictures that I'm willing to give you the voice messages that this person left for me, but you're not taking the phone in the other room. You know, you're not making an acquisition of it, and it's going to walk out the door. So you can sit that person down right next to you, put the phone in between you. They can control the phone. You can control the phone. You can control it from within if you have a touch screen, and bring up anything. So you say, hey, this is what your screen. Can I go in? Do you mind if I go in and get your settings here really quick? So let's walk through settings. I want to get your phone information. Let me go to About Phone. Let me screenshot that. Right now I have that information. Okay, you're willing to give me Kik chats. Let me open up Kik. And of course, this is signed out. Did you guys get all that? All right, so I'm in here now. I can take screenshots of the main screen. Hey, you're allowed to take this one here. Okay. Yeah, live terms. Let me come in here, take that screenshot. Let me look at this person's information. I may need that information for legal process later, maybe. Let me see here. This is live TV, folks. There we go. And this is one of those cloud data things. I think I was on airplane mode, so that's why one of these wasn't showing up. Telegram, I can come in here and see stuff. Now, depending on what app you use, what version Telegram is on, what device you're on, for the most part, you're going to get all Telegram. You can screenshot whatever you want until it comes up to a secret chat. If they've started a secret chat, this is an old phone, so it still works. You can see on here, it says, does this work? That was a secret chat. But there's other ones where it may say, it may blank out your screen. So with the newer ones, you can get all Telegram, but if it's a secret chat and you try to cast it here so we can get a screenshot of it, it just shows no text. You may see the outline, you may see it's Telegram, but there'll be no text in it. They blacked the screen out for a while, then they changed it to no text. They were saying a screenshot was taken if they saw that you were casting. So it's device specific. You would have to do a little bit of testing first on that. But pretty much you can get anything up until the secret chats. Snapchat, bring it up. You can take the screenshots. It's not going to notify the other party. What I wanted to show you in here, if I can get one, is there's scrolling here as well. So you can hit the scroll button and it'll automatically go through and get your screenshots as well. You save those, and just want to show you, I think I have one down here. So this is one that's been processed. You can see I categorized them. There's my Kick chats, there's my settings, there's Telegram, there's WhatsApp. If I was looking for something specific, looking for the name Frank, I can do a search of that. So when you're doing screenshots and you bring them into the case, we run it through optical character recognition, and that will, and you can search that. So I could come in here and say, oh, where's one that says Frank? There it is, Frankie P. And I can step through each one of these to where it finds the word Frank and what it's showing on the screen. It's very simple. Then you could create your report in HTML, PDF, CSV, whatever you want to do with that. Review, investigate device, preview, screencasting. If there's any questions on that, I know I'm starting to speed up a little bit because I know I've spent a lot of time here. Oh, I wanted to show iOS. So let me bring up this. Anything up to iOS 16 that you want to screenshot, you could connect the device and take a screenshot just like you do with the Android. 16 and up, iOS put a developer mode on the phone. So it used to be the developer information used to be able to be packaged, and we'd use that in order for you to get your screenshots. Now they don't do that. They put a developer mode on. So we've kind of worked around that, because in order to have developer mode on, you either had to have certain apps installed or a certain type of account, or you had to remove the password, reboot the device, put it in developer mode, and then you were able to take screenshots. When you remove a password, the wallet gets turned off. So you lose that information. Even victim witness consent, they weren't very keen on that. You needed the Apple ID, not just a password for the phone. So a lot of hassle, right? So now you can see I have a 14 Pro Max with 17.5 on it. I'm going to hit proceed. The screenshot button means I can't go in and just take screenshots. I can do screen recording and screenshots. And it tells me here that in order to do that, I need to connect the phone either through a wireless connection from the phone there, or I can tether the phone and get that same connection. So you can have a private Wi-Fi network that's not connected to the internet. So it would just be your device and that device on that network. It tells you in here, once you have that connection, you go in and you use your screen mirroring, your Apple AirPlay from your command, and you'll see the screen here in a minute. I'm sitting here swiping my own screen. So now I have that AirPlay connected there. You can see screen mirroring. ADF is the computer. Touch off of it. There's my command window. So in your iOS device on this one, you pull down, hit that little mirroring screen. And now anything that's up here, I can cast and collect. Again, victim witness consent, getting these connected, getting the data off. Think when HDMI comes out, you don't need to do on an Android, you don't need to go and become a developer. You'll get that raw HDMI output and be able to see what's on the screen, especially if it's cracked or something like that. So iOS, same thing. And it works the same way. What I didn't show you before was recording. There's a recording button. So now anything I do on this device here, I can record. So if I wanted a list of all the devices that are on here, I can go through and do something like that. Go into my settings. I'll go to general. About the phone, there's all the information, so I can record all that. Then when I'm done, I can stop that recording. So now I can bring that back up just to see that I got what I wanted. So now I have the recording in here, and I can play that, and you'll see it recorded everything that I did. It also records audio, not your audio. Don't worry about if you're sitting there swearing and carrying on about something. It's not recording that. It's recording the audio from the device itself. So if there's a music video or there's a voice recording, a voice memo, any of that, you'll be able to get off with that information. So I have that saved there as well. Again, you can finish it, process it, and have it what I showed you before, or I can hit the acquire button and everything that I've saved gets added into that acquisition. All right. Preview, screencasting, image, that's on the computer side. Kind of mentioned that before. If I wanted to make an acquisition of anything, I can pick it here, where I'm going to save it to, whether I want it in EO1 or DD format, and then I have all my other information to fill out there. Acquire, that's the mobile side. Scan, again, computer and mobile in one. What I do want to show here in the last few minutes is on the computer side. You have a computer on scene. Like I said, you can prepare a collection key. And that is, again, this is a Samsung T7. We have what we call profiles, and that basically is your set of instructions. We're not going to make an image and then pull everything out of that image. We're going to scan that computer. You're probably familiar with the free triage tools. Same thought process, right? Connect it, either boot to it or run it live. And it's going to look at this search profile and say, okay, what do you want out of this? I want the installed applications. I want the USB history. I want any messaging, any contacts. This is triage. I don't want everything. I want to be able to do this quick. I want pictures and videos, that type of stuff. So these profiles let you say, this is what I want to get out of there. And there's a bunch of ones here that I've created. Quick triage. It goes in and only does a certain amount of things. So I know it's going to run fast, but give me information I can utilize back at my desk, not just on scene going, yes, take this. No, it really allows you to put a case together quickly. You can also set it up without search profiles. And what that is, a search profile says run A, B, C, D, E, F, right? Run all this stuff for me, put it all together. The other one says, okay, just run. I can pick and choose. I don't have to build a profile before. I could say on scene, I'm going into a place and I don't know what I'm looking for. I don't know what I want until the interviews comes up and I say, okay, let me scan your computer and pull this off of it. So you can set it up that way. And I'm going to show you what that looks like here. This cable, disconnect some of these phones. Excuse my reach. Very simple. USB cable, either C or A, whatever you have. So we have cables for both. And let me shut this down. That's my desktop version. Let me shut that down here for a second. You'll see my screen. So I plugged in that USB device here. And it opens up here. On there, it's Start Windows Live Scan, right? So I double click on that, and it's going to open up the tool. So suspect's computer is up and running Windows. You prepare that collection key, you bring it, it opens up on the tool. No different well, maybe different than some other tools, but when you plug something into a Windows machine, Windows says, hey, something was plugged into a USB device and this is what it was, or into a USB port and this is what it was. I executed the program. Windows goes, oh, a program executed. This is what it was. This was the time it happened. When the program comes up, we are now running from the collection key. We're not making any changes to the device, even during scan. There's a create RAM dump button, one click, and it starts collecting RAM right to that collection key. So as soon as this pops up, you can hit that and collect your RAM. Saves it there. We're not gonna process that for you on scene. You take that back and use your whatever your memory analysis tool is there. But at least now it's done. You've got it. Come into scan computer, and what it's doing is just scan it to see what's attached to this device, and you can see here everything that's attached to this computer. And this is the system drive. It's telling me it's BitLocker encrypted and it's currently open, and I'm allowed to scan this. We do have, this is set up not to run the search profiles. This is saying, hey, what do I want to run in here? So like for device data, we have one called encrypted drive. That's going to go through and pull the BitLocker keys for you and the TPM info, so you have that right away. So it's up, it's running. Let me grab that information, and then you can just go through and pick, exactly what you are looking for off of these devices. So I have some specific keyword searches that I brought in that maybe I want to run. Those are here for me to turn on or off. Hashes, I brought in my Project Vic Cat 1s. I just want to run that on the machine. I could turn that on, and it allows me to go through and do that. The other way, I'm going to close this here for a second. Grab my other collection key. And the nice thing about this is you could bring out as many collection keys on scene as you want to run. And when you go to start the scan, what it's going to do is ask you for a license. You plug in the license, it acknowledges that you have the license. You could pull the license back out and go to another computer and use that license for there. So you could be scanning 70 computers at once with one license. So this one I have set up with search profiles. Same thing. I have all my devices attached. I just want to do the system drive. I have one here for just storage drives. I have one here for doing a quick triage, and one for multimedia information. And then you would do the scan. I have a license plugged in, so it automatically started the scan here for me. But I could take that license out and move on. You can see here there's a couple different things I've asked it to look for. Applications, so anti-forensic traces, that's a keyword search. Peer-to-peer information, child exploitation information, encrypted drive, network connection, operating system information, USB history, pictures and videos that are under 500 megs in size, user accounts, and then all my browser information, including saved credentials, which only runs on a live machine. That is not everything. That is enough to help me make a decision on this computer whether something's there or not. And if it is there, to collect enough information for me to put something together today. Maybe I do make the arrest and I need something for court tomorrow morning. This is going to allow me to do that. Some of the things our tool does, both mobile and computer, in the analysis part, it links artifacts together. One of the things this is doing now, I'm doing a live presentation on the same computer. A lot of information's being done. But the first thing it does, for the first minute I've been talking here and it's been running, it's been going through something called caching files. So we make a listing of every file and folder that's on this computer, regardless of whether we're collecting it or not. So you'll always have a full inventory of what's there. Then once that's done, we use that to help speed up the processing here. So now it really takes off and starts collecting the information pretty fast for you on what you're doing. It's not only identifying it, it's collecting it. It's here for you to present. So you never have to go, oh, I see this was here, let me collect it. No, it's already done for you. You can turn that off. You can say don't collect, maybe speed things up a little bit more. But for the most part, it does that. Quickly, before I show you some results here, I'm just going to go in here. I can hit view results. And it brings me into the results that have already been collected, so I can start taking a look at them. And that's important if you're on scene, like the USB history has been collected, and I want to say, okay, what's been connected to this device? Let me take a quick look now, go through there. Here's a list of everything that Windows has identified as being attached to this device. Let me see if it's here. Is it on the desk? Is it under the pillow? Is it under the mattress? Right? Hey, there's a 500 gig drive that's not connected here, but it says it's been connected. So we need to keep an eye out for that. What it did was it let it finish what it was doing. There we go. And now I can come in here and look at my USB history and see everything here that's been listed. So, and that's live. That's actually this computer that I'm looking at. And I can close it and stop it and move on. So it's been running. It even runs while you're in there, so you can see it collected a bunch of stuff. I want to stop this and do one more thing and open up my desktop version again and show you one more thing. All right, let's see, desktop version. I'll just show you a quick scan and some results here to show you what you get out of it. I've been showing you what we do, but when it's done, like here's all the results, the summary screen, everything that's been collected. You can set it to automatically tag if it finds hashes or keywords that are specific. You can automatically have them tagged so you don't have to go through that. One of the things I mentioned was linked artifacts, which I had in there. If I go into my filter, there's 7,622 pictures in here. In linked artifacts, I can say, show me the ones that were downloaded through the internet or have recent file entries or were shared through peer-to-peer. So automatically I could come in here and look at this and say, hey, it's been downloaded through the internet and it's got 3 recent file entries and it's saved in a user created path. So if I'm on scene and I have that information quick, within 5 minutes, I can make decisions on scene, especially with we all know you guys are great at interview techniques. So just a lot of different things that you can look at, hey, peer-to-peer. Oh yeah, he's not doing anything with the peer-to-peer. But if dogs are your contraband, here's everything that was collected. At the top of the gallery is everything that was matched. So your matches are always on top, keywords or hash values. So that's their videos. Again, we do it here as well. Frames, first frame, last frame. And even that's going to get better in upcoming. You get first frame, last frame, 48 from in between. If there's something you feel you need to look at, then you can play it there as well. But it really helps you get through stuff. Keyword searches, just really packed with features. With that, I am going to leave it. It's right at the hour. If there's any questions, please ask them. If not, I can get back to you after. No problem there. Let me just bring this back up. There we go. Want to make sure that I say thank you. I did a lot of talking. I ran through that quick. There's so much to this tool that it can help you get through your stuff. Good things coming down the pike. Rfrawley at adfsolutions.com to get in touch with me. Try ADF if it's something that you're interested in. Try ADF.com. We give away a trial version that you could play with. Again, computer only, mobile only, or put them together and try the whole package in Pro. With that, it's top of the hour. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. I know you all had choices and you stuck it out with me. Everybody have a great day.